I think this is the precise opportunity for Keith Thurman to show the whole of the boxing world that he is destined, determined, focused on becoming unified welterweight champion of the world. He has a very, very good opportunity against Garcia, and it will be interesting to actually see in this fight if Keith Thurman has actually is ready to actually elevate to a level that hasn't been attained in recent times, especially in the welterweight division. I mean, we have an opportunity here for two undefeated fighters. I mean, whatever you say about their resumes, you know, especially in this day and age, the one thing you cannot take away from these two fighters is their undying belief that they are the best welterweight in the world today. Now, we could argue whether that's a fact or not, regardless of, you know, all the things that we've seen in the past. You know, certain fights there have been of a lesser standard that we would deem to be of, you know, worthy to actually call them, you know, great fighters of today. I think Keith Thurman, it will be interesting to actually see if Keith Thurman is actually recovered from these, you know, the shoulder surgery he had a couple of years ago. I mean, it does take a while for, you know, when you have that sort of that type of surgery, it does take a while to actually, you know, get back into the groove of you know, the sort of KOs that he was having prior to actually that particular injury. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, that's going to be a factor within this particular fight. All I'm saying is that specifically in regards to, you know, what has happened after the surgery itself, you know, Keith Thurman hasn't had a decisive knockout, if you want to put it that way. I mean, he's had a few good wins. Obviously, as you go up in level, it gets harder and harder to actually get knockouts. Some fighters, you know, keep their power all the way through, regardless of what kind of surgeries they have. Some fighters may take a while to actually regain that power. But Keith Thurman undoubtedly has a lot of power, and it will be interesting to see if he can actually replicate that power against a fighter like Garcia. Now, Garcia, very, very technical. You know, he's very deceptive in his mid to short range punches. He's very, very deceptive. I mean, you can't sleep on this guy. He has a dynamite of a left hook, and when he lands, it does stay landed. The only issue I have with Garcia is just, you know, will he be able to take the punch of Keith Thurman? Will he be able to, you know, dominate the fight, to take control, be the general? I mean, he has had some shaky fights. You know, in the last 5 fights, he had some shaky fights where people actually thought he lost, especially to little Lamont Peterson. He did, in my opinion, he lost the fight, but hey, obviously he got it on decision, so you have to, you know, go with whatever the judges, you know, the decision was. But I've always had my doubts with him, with Garcia, but he's always seemed to turn it around. He always seems to pull it out. And this fight is going to be very, very interesting to see whether he's going to be able to, you know, pull it out of the bag. I don't particularly, I mean, looking at the overview of the fight, looking at the styles, you know, Keith Thurman's a lot more of a mover. He doesn't move a lot, though he doesn't have much of an inside game. He does have that equalizer, which is that dynamite of a right punch, that right cross. And then obviously Garcia can fight on the inside. Not very fast, but very, very, very strong and very determined. So if I had to pick a winner of this particular fight, I'm leaning towards Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman will have a lot more in his arsenal, and you know, especially in terms of his skill set, I think he'll have a lot more than Garcia. But hey, this is boxing. Anything can happen. One left hook, if a left hook lands on Keith Thurman goes down, and that's the end of the fight, it will not surprise me. But I'm going for a unanimous decision 12-round unanimous decision to Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman becomes the new unified welterweight champion of the world. Peace.